This is question number 29 on page 218. It says we have a rectangular page, which I've drawn up here. It needs 30 square inches of print. So we're printing everything inside this little box. The area of this little box needs to be 30 square inches. It says that the margins, each of these are 1 inch. And we are looking to use the least amount of paper. We want the least amount of paper to be used. So I'm going to call this distance right here x and this one y. And we know that x times y is equal to 30. What we're trying to do is we're trying to minimize the total area of the paper. So the area of the entire page would be this distance times this distance. Well, this distance here, this much is x, and then this is 1, and this is 1. So this side here is x plus 2. This side here is going to be y plus 2. We need to solve this for either x or y. I'm going to solve for y and substitute it in over here. So I solved for y, and I substituted in for y. We want to take the derivative of this and set it equal to 0. To do that, you could use the product rule. I'm going to FOIL this out. I think it's probably going to be a little easier if I do that. So x times 30 over x is just 30. Here I get 2x. Here I get 60 over x. I'll write that as x to the negative first, and then plus 4. So when I take the derivative of 30 is 0, derivative of 2x is 2. This is minus 60x to the negative second, and the derivative of 4 is 0. We are setting our derivative equal to 0 and solving. So I'm going to add this over, multiply both sides by x squared, divide by 2, and square root. We don't need a plus or minus because the distance or the length of the paper here can't be negative. So x is root 30. We should prove that this does indeed give us a minimum value. So this is my x. We are comparing that with the derivative of the area of the page. We are going to start at 0 because the area of the page here, the length of the page cannot be negative. So 0 to root 30, I'm going to choose 1. If I plug in 1 for x, notice my derivative would be 2 minus 60, which is a negative number. If I plug in 10, 10 is between root 30 and infinity. This would be 60 divided by 100. 2 minus 6/10 gives me a positive number, which proves that we do indeed have a minimum value. My x value is root 30. Let's go ahead and get a decimal. Gives me x is 5.477. I believe, yep, our units are inches. We can get y by plugging that in right here. And that also gives us 5.477. And then make sure we answer the question that's being asked. The question wants the dimensions of the page. Notice x and y are not the dimensions of the page. Those are the dimensions of the printed area. So the dimensions of the page are going to be 2 inches longer for both x and y. So final answer is going to be 7.477 inches by 7.477 inches.